Welcome to the Rent to Rent Success podcast, all about creating consistent cash flow, escaping the 9-to-5, and really living life on your terms. This is the only podcast entirely dedicated to helping you achieve rent to rent success. It's our place to inspire each other to believe bigger, to be bolder, and to be game changers for good. I'm Stephanie Taylor, your guide on this exciting ride. Let's start up the engines and get ready to fly. Hello, hello, hello. It's Stephanie here and welcome aboard episode 35 of the Rent to Rent Success podcast. And today we're talking about money. And do you need a lot of it to get started in rent to rent? This is part of our series of episodes busting lots of rent to rent myths. Before I start today, I want to invite you to the party. There's lots more rent-to-rent success secrets in our Facebook group. It's full of like-minded people and a chance also to get to know us better and meet some of our podcast guests. We would love to see you there. Come over and join us. Say hi. Let us get to know you. Just go to Facebook and you can either search for Rent-to-Rent Success Secrets on Facebook or to go straight to the group without passing go. You go to rent2rentsuccess.com. That's rent2rentsuccess.com/group. And that link will take you direct to our Facebook group. Come and join us there. Say hello. So look forward to seeing you there. Today's topic: don't you need lots of dosh to get started in rent to rent? Now, businesses often do take tens of thousands of pounds to get started or more. But as we talked about earlier in the podcast episodes, rent to rent is a really efficient business model, which allows you to get started for much less than most people think. And also it allows you to become profitable before most businesses would be profitable. In episode 8 of this podcast, I explain exactly how much it costs to set up your rent-to-rent business. I walk you step by step through everything you need to set up your rent-to-rent business legally, ethically, inexpensively, and quickly. I've indicated the current price of each item, and it actually costs under £600 to get your business set up. And that's a much lower amount than most people actually guess. So you can see the details for that at rent2rentsuccess.com/8. That's rent2rentsuccess.com/8 for episode 8. Then in addition to your business setup costs to get started in rent to rent, you also usually need 1 month's rent because that's paid in advance. If you're going through agents, you'll often need a deposit, sometimes not. We haven't paid deposit so far, but sometimes you will need to, or you'll decide that you want to secure the deal, especially if it's your first deal. So you need a deposit if they ask for one, and that's usually equivalent to 1 month rent. And then you need money for any refurbishment. And this is the one that freaks people out. Everybody wants to know, how much is the refurbishment? Well, refurbs can really vary, and you can choose what level you're willing to pay. Most of our Kickstarters are spending less than £3,000. And you'll know that many of the rent-to-rent rock stars that we've interviewed on the podcast say they're spending much less, like Mark Fitzgerald we had on, and his properties look amazing. And he hardly spends anything because he only will take on the properties if they're already done up to a high standard. So you can choose to do that as well if you prefer not to invest in refurbishing somebody else's properties, which is absolutely fair enough. So those are the extra costs that you need. Because as I explained in episode 2, rent to rent is incredibly efficient as a business model. Little money required to start. You can become profitable within a few months. And most businesses are not profitable within the first year. You've got consistent recurring cash flow. Most startups do not have that recurring revenue. and you've got the names and addresses of your perfect customers. And most businesses don't have that. They have to go out and find their perfect customers. So to summarize, a rent-to-rent business, is just under £600 to get it set up. And then on top of that, you need to have some money aside for rent, for a deposit if you're paying it, and for a refurb if you're choosing to refurb. So let me know if you have any questions at all about this. I'd love to hear from you. And before we go, I just want to remind you about our Rent-to-Rent Success book. Are you as excited as I am about this coming out? It's our ethical 6-step system to get started in property without buying it. We're excited to share it. And we've already got amazing feedback coming in, which we're so delighted about. If you want access to the pre-launch with incredible special offers, then make sure that you do join the VIP list. And that's at rent2rentbook.com. That's rentbook.com. And next week, I'm going to be talking about time. How much time do you need for rent to rent? This is a big worry that people have. So until next week, have an amazing week. And remember, believe bigger, be bolder, and be a game changer. See you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the links for anything mentioned in today's episode, or if voice is not enough and you want to see us on video too, you can find all the show notes and lots more at rent2rentsuccess.com. That's rentsuccess.com. If you've enjoyed today's episode, we'd super appreciate it if you would take a few minutes to review it in your podcast app. Remember, we'll be donating to our B1G1 charities too for each review you give. Until then, believe bigger, be bolder, be a game changer.